Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Steph's Middle School Souffle. If this is your first time joining me and listening to me, I am a mother of a seventh grader and a fifth grader. I have also taught in Minneapolis public schools, only middle school. I've only ever taught middle school, mostly eighth grade, for about 21 years now. Yeah, so I've got a lot of experience with this age group. So this is who I am. Um, I'm not doing this for any type of pay. I enjoy doing this and sharing my message with you. And if you want to hear it, great. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I'm just here to make good humans or try to motivate people to be great and good citizens and kind to others and have empathy. Yeah, because we all need each other. So today, my series is on social awareness. And I'm going to talk about wrestling. Dang, how do you wear this thing? I don't even know if it's right. This is my son's. So you go like this, and then you shoot like that. I'll do it again. Ready? Yeah. I never was a wrestler. My dad asked if I could wrestle in 1987 or 88, and I was denied at that time. It's all right, Mr. Lean, I understand. The athletic director of the time, probably not letting too many girls in. I don't hate. It's okay. It's just the time. I was just grateful that you listened to my dad's conversation and my dad called to ask. So, yeah, this is about wrestling. I didn't grow up with brothers either, so I didn't know wrestling, but I have had lots of experience as a mother and as a teacher, and I will tell you, this sport is the best sport for raising children in. Teaches them so much. Out of all the sports I have seen and have been in, this one is the one, believe me, for your child. I have plenty of reasons. This is the team that my son and daughter were a part of, the Mounds View wrestling team, and they did a great year. They did really great. Coach Dan got a Coach of the Year. Such a cool guy. He's also an educator too. He knows the whole child. So I'm a big fan of this team, but it's just not about winning. Okay, they are excellent athletes this year. They're going many places. I'm so proud of this team. I wanted just to tell you that these are some of the things that my children have learned. This is JC and Silas. They joined when they were like 4 or 5. You can join whenever. This is not a sport where you have to start when you're 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. There's seniors that come out and they just do fine. Yeah, so think about joining. So if you're not having it with basketball or hockey and your kids are kind of like, join this one. It's so good, not just for athleticism, but for so much like discipline, listening, perseverance, and humility. And again, those all fall under self-management. But my series, which is series 6, is about social awareness. So just to review, this is the Castle framework made in 1994 about just making good humans and what mature adults need. We all need these. Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. I just think this is a really good framework. And this series was about social awareness. So that's the ability to understand perspectives of and empathize with others, including those from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and contexts. So I always tell my son, because I'm a history teacher and I nerd out, I'm like, do you know that wrestling was one of the first recorded sports in history? And it's in the Bible. Yep, Jacob wrestled God or an angel, depends on the interpretation. But it's a really cool story. And also, even if you're not a spiritual person, religious, don't you just ever wrestle yourself? Your thoughts? So you need to start arguing with me. What are you talking about? I am you. So yeah, we wrestle with our thoughts. We wrestle in our head with people, I guess. So again, credits go to christarts.com. Yeah, I'm supposed to credit these people. Melissa Felipe, that's where I got this source. Okay, so on with social awareness. When you're in wrestling, you're out there alone. Everyone is watching you. There's no place to hide. You're fully exposed. It's very raw emotionally, physically, but you have to show up for yourself, your team, and your coaches. You show up. It's just not about you. Okay, it's about your team too. This is also a team sport. And so I went to a wrestling banquet, and this really inspired me. These coaches got up and they knew every single child. This is an old one when the young youth were honored. This is JC and Silas right here. And some of these people grew up to be champions right now or on that team. And this was just last week. My son, he's a middle schooler. This is the middle schoolers. There's only 5 there. But those coaches knew them so well. They were able to, it's almost like they wrote a whole synopsis on each individual. And they weren't just talking about their record. They were talking about their academics, who they were as a person. And I was very inspired and very grateful for this coaching staff that knew my son so well and his teammates. So again, this is social awareness, perspective taking, empathy, appreciating diversity, understanding social and ethical norms for behavior, and recognizing family, school, and community sports. So wrestling fits all of this. I'll give an example for each. Perspective taking. Okay. So my family, they came from Madison. Here's my brother and sister-in-law. And we came to see Silas wrestle, right? And so came to see Silas wrestle, and he didn't. Okay. He showed up for his team, but he didn't get a slot. Now, did we cry and argue about it? Why can't Silas wrestle? No. That's not how this works. Silas wasn't the best fit for that time. And he experiences that quite a bit. And that's okay. Sometimes it's not your turn. Sometimes it's not what's best for you. It's what's best for the team. So you really get that perspective. Like, that's what the coach and my team need at this time. And it isn't me. But I'm going to show up for my teammates, and I'm going to towel tap, because he did. He towel tapped, and I'm going to clean up the garbage afterwards, and that's what he did. And I'm going to cheer my teammates on. I am there for them. It's just not about me. Also, empathy. You learn to cry. I've seen all these boys and girls cry because it hurts. And then you learn to help each other. And these kids learn how to they understand how it feels to lose and how to win. Your buddies always show up for you, and you learn to be a great friend. I have never seen that in any other sport. You develop such strong empathy in wrestling because you know how this feels, how those raw emotions, those intense emotions feel, and you show up. You learn how it feels to win and lose. You learn to hug, give high fives, cheer for each other, and then to give space. When you get older, and you lose and you're disappointed, you just want to go and hide sometimes. Okay. And your buddies will just be like, okay, now it's not the right time. And from this, they're getting great relationship skills. Okay. Silas lost to get to the state tournament in this one when he was in 6th grade. You know, Terry found him kind of in a corner over there. He was disappointed in himself. But afterwards he took a break and sad, but got back in there to cheer for others. Again, here's another Silas losing, okay? He lost. They went to nationals one year. I think this was before COVID. I lost, and I'm sad. JC tried to comfort him, but now it's just not about me. He went to support his sister. He cheered her on, because that's what the right thing is to do. Okay, diversity. Girls joining right now. And when you're a girl and you're wrestling, these boys aren't like, oh, I just gotta wrestle a girl. No, they show up also, and they do give respect because most of them have had their butts whooped by girls. Okay, so they do wrestle their hardest against them. Okay, this is JC. This is the Storm, the girls wrestling team. There's a lot of that going on right now. I'm so amazed. Different weight sizes too matter. They are respected. So diversity is key. Yes, they learn to appreciate each other and find out where each other fits, and they form that team. One of my favorite stories, understanding social and ethical norms for behavior. Listen to your coach. So Terry, my son, who's very intense, got a little sassy with Terry, who was his coach for this tournament. Terry forfeited Silas's matches for the remainder of the day, but still made him wrestle. So you could see my son is not too happy, but he learned you do not give sass back to your coaches. Yep, there he is right there. You see them, Mr. Grouchy Face? Okay, another one of my favorite stories from another wrestling dad. Super big respect. Tim, this one's for you. Your son, this is the big wrestling party at State Wrestling. So fun. It is so fun. The party's the biggest. We have a potluck. We swim. We play video games. We visit. But his son walked up the mat after a wrestling mat and didn't show good sportsmanship. So his dad said, we can't go to the party. I'm sorry. So he took his son home. His dad had consequences for him for not having good sportsmanship. And I respected that dad so much that day. That was when I knew this sport is more than just winning. So if you want to teach your kids this is an excellent way to do this. Have consequence for unsportsmanlike conduct. Okay. Recognizing family, school, and community sports. Your coaches always show up and believe in you. And in wrestling, any place you are in the United States, there are so many coaches, like male, and I haven't really seen any female coaches yet, but I think there is, it's coming. But for now, they show up. They're positive role models. There's so many of them. Okay, this is our family. Okay, we were supporting Silas and JC getting in shape for the state wrestling. We went for a run together. It brought us together. This was cool. Okay, so they didn't have practice this year because of snow days. So their job, Coach Dan and the other coaches, had them go out and shovel other people's driveway, not just their own, other people's driveway, to be kind to others. Okay, they learn how to listen and be respectful to elders and coaches. My old colleague Marv here from Marcy, when we taught together, he kept talking about how great wrestling is. Wrestling, you know, and now I get it, Marv. I get it. It's not just about winning. It's about the whole person. And their behavior and the way they treat others. They show up for themselves, they show up for their coaches, and they show up for their teammates, and they learn to listen. Okay? And they respect their coaches because their coaches are respectable humans. Okay? You learn that your coaches and teammates show up for you, even when you tried your best, even if you tried your best and you lost. This is Coach Dan shaking my son's hand after he walked off a mat, after he wrestled. He did win, but Silas, it was a hard match. Your teammates showed up for you. Okay, I was so impressed and so proud of this team that day. Okay, and then you form meaningful friendships. They see you at your worst. They see you at your best when you're the most exhausted, and you do the same for them. You show up for each other. Okay, it's a hard sport. You have to have courage to do this sport. But I promise you, you will be a better person, a better parent because of this sport, wrestling. So next winter, if you're kind of done with hockey, if you're done with basketball, you can't go wrong. I don't care if you have a daughter or son, you cannot go wrong. Any age you want them to try out, it's a tough sport, I promise you. But those challenges, it pays off. So again, this is an old little advertisement for myself, but share, subscribe, or don't. Just trust me when I say this. Wrestling is where it's at. It is where it is at. Peace.